So we're talking about podcasting, recording tips, project tips, things to help make your project the best it can be. So the first part that we're going to talk about is the setup. And when we talk about the setup, the most important part is your script. Spend as much time as you can on your script. So make notes about any other audio you want to bring in, any background music you want to use, the tone that you want to set. So I'll think of anything that you want that will and need to help tell the story that you want to tell. And that should go in the script. The other reason that the script is important is because not only is it going to be what you want to say, it can serve as a transcript afterward to make your podcast inclusive and accessible to those that might be hard of hearing. The next part is to get quiet. And so it's a lot easier to remove sound from your recording than after. So it is possible in Audacity there is a noise reduction or noise removal tool, but it's a lot easier to remove the sound before you record than after. So make sure the location that you are recording in is as quiet as possible, that there's no distractions or anything like that. Next, something that can be helpful is a bigger, better mic. So your phone or your laptop does have a built-in mic, but oftentimes you'll get better results if you use an external mic. So the library has some available to you. There's a Yeti mic, there's an external recorder, so an audio recording device that will provide you better quality audio than you'll get from the built-in microphone in your laptop or phone. Next, so when you are actually recording, you want to make sure if you make a mistake, don't stop. You want to keep going. This will minimize the amount of time that you have to record. So if you make a mistake, pause, take a breath, then pick a spot that's close to where the mistake happened, and then just keep going, because you can always edit out the mistake. Next, you want to think about pace. So when you're recording, naturally, you're going to want to speak faster than you normally would. You want your pace to be conversational, and so be conscious of that and slow down just a little bit. Lastly, the best way to make sure that the audio you get is good audio is to listen to yourself. And I would recommend that unless you are using a studio setup with studio monitors, that you listen with headphones. That's going to give you the most accurate representation of the audio, as well as mimic how those that will listen to your podcast will listen to it. So make sure you listen to yourself with headphones. Some things to look out for, things like those fillers that we use. You've probably heard some here, but you want to be cognizant of those and limit those as much as you can. There's two vocal tics that you may have heard of. One is vocal fry and the other is upspeak. So vocal fry is described as a croaking or a creaking sound in your voice. I have that in my voice, and it's kind of usually happens towards the ends of sentences and things like that. Right, it's that creaking sound that's in your voice. Upspeak is exactly like it sounds. Your sentences end with an upturn, so everything sounds like a question. And so you want to be aware of your patterns of speech, and again, listen to yourself, and that will help. So as well as being aware of vocal tics, vocal patterns, speech patterns, things like that, we also need to be aware of, as you're mixing your audio together, be aware of how present your voice is, or the voice of the interviewee if you've recorded an interview. And so when we talk about vocal presence, we say that we generally want the spoken voice, to be 15% louder than any other audio in the recording. And the best way to do that, again, is to listen to yourself in headphones, and it'll be a process of trial and error. And as you'll see later within Audacity, there's ways that you can balance those things and get the correct mix that you want. The last thing that I'd like to share is that if you're looking for example podcasts or you're looking for inspiration, I would point you to the Digital Media Toolbox. There is a wealth of information here for you in terms of podcasting, as well as other creative projects, digital projects. There's information on copyright, Creative Commons, resources for other software that you might want to use, links and resources for finding audio that you can use in your projects. And so I definitely recommend that as a resource to you. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day.